I got into swimming because I loved swimming. I lived by the lake my whole life. It was a natural thing for me. I did pretty naturally well at it, just in a non-competitive atmosphere. And then when I was getting into high school, I wasn't good enough or skilled enough to play any other sports really. The path to Grand Valley for me, I never really thought I would go to Grand Valley, and it was one of those places where, being from Grand Haven, a lot of kids would kind of tease or joke about the kids who would go to Grand Valley, because they'd call it Grand Haven University because so many kids from Grand Haven end up going to school basically where they grew up their whole lives. So I initially did not plan on going to Grand Valley. Swimming was one of the main factors in coming here. The coach was really interested here in me. He said I could make a big impact on the team. By the time I was a senior and I was good enough to swim in college. I liked the academics, I liked the university, I liked the team atmosphere here, and the biggest thing was that I could make an impact on the team here. That was a big deal for me, and that's what really drew me in, because I didn't want to do it if I couldn't contribute. Oh man, the commitment that it takes to be a collegiate swimmer is huge. I mean, a lot of sports, maybe you could be a little bit off your game, you could still do well. They have that team aspect to it. If swimming, if everything's not going good, you can tell right away. There's a huge component for having a good feel for the water. Just with your hand position, head position, body position, and if you're staying up too late or you're not putting everything into it, that position is going to be off, and that will amount to half a second by the end of a race, which will lose you the race. I've won and lost races by 1/100th of a second, or I think last year I got second place at nationals by 7/100ths of a second over third. So every little bit counts, and you have to be absolutely committed to it. My best event, I'd have to say it's the 200 fly. The 200 fly is really the first event that I think made me into a truly great swimmer. It's a distance that suits me well, and I really enjoy the stroke and the rhythm that you can get into. And I do enjoy the 200 fly. A lot of people don't enjoy it. Maybe I just enjoy it because I'm good at it, so maybe that's not quite fair. The Olympic trials means a lot to me. When I was in high school, I knew some kids who that's what their goal was, to qualify for the Olympic trials. Swimmers will work their whole careers to get to the Olympic trials, and some make it and some never do. And it does help me in my collegiate career, I think, because a lot of times the mental part of swimming is huge, and if you're too nervous or you can't get yourself calmed down for a time when it comes time for a big race, you can have a real problem, and you can have all the talent and physical ability that you need, but you can mess it up because your head's not in the right spot. So it helps me in my mental preparation to know that I have the ability to swim at whatever level meets. So it's very calming when it comes to thinking about what you're going to do in college. It would mean a lot to me to be Grand Valley's first national champion. It's something that I've talked with Coach about. Even when I was a freshman here, I knew that was the direction that I'd like to be heading in. It's frustrating that I haven't gotten to stand on that top step yet, but at the same time, I know that I also gave my very best to get there. And the people that beat me are, they swam faster than me. If you want to win, you got to be the fastest guy in the water. I believe that a lot of leadership is leading by example. So that's the way I try to carry myself. Every day in practice, I come in, I'm taking it seriously. I'm taking care of myself outside the water. I'm taking care of things in the weight room. I'm getting proper sleep. So that's what I try to, show and demonstrate to my teammates. I'm majoring in exercise science. With that, I'm looking into personal training and cardiac rehab, so some kind of mixture between those two. And a big part of it depends on when I'm finally going to get away from the pool. The thing is, if for any athlete in any sport they want to do, if you want to continue doing it seriously postgraduately, which I believe at this point I do want to do, you're going to have to find something to make it work. So my eventual plans are cardiac rehab, personal training, but I'm looking at moving to a different city and sometime within the next year or two, and getting in with a serious club team and continuing from there. I like my chances this year, but I don't want to get too caught up in that, so I'm just going to try to go out there and do my best, and I think I ought to be able to do well.